Hello, what's up, and welcome to another recipe. I'll be making my own recipe for a pretty traditional lasagna. Traditional aside from the fact that it's vegan, of course. We're going to be replacing the mincemeat with mushrooms and with walnuts, and when you put the two of those together, something good happens. Without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, the first thing we're going to start with is the tomato sauce. So we're going to start by sauteing onion and garlic with a pinch of salt. Then once that's done, you are going to remove the onion and garlic from the pan, add in a touch of oil, and then we're going to start with the walnuts. We're going to saute the walnuts for a couple of minutes until they get nice and toasty. And then when they look like this, we're going to also remove the walnuts from the pan. And we're going to add back in a touch of oil. And then in go the mushrooms with a pinch of salt, some black pepper. And we're going to saute the mushrooms until they've released all the moisture and they've picked up a bit of color. And then once the mushrooms are also done and they look brown like this, we're going to add back in the walnut and onion and garlic. This is also when you can add in the herbs such as dried basil, which is what I chose to use. And then after we've also added the basil is when we can start mixing in the tomatoes. This is what your sauce will look like after simmering for an hour. Look at that beautiful texture. That looks just like a sauce with mince in. This is going to be amazing in your own vegan lasagna. Now it's time to start making the bechamel. We're going to start with the melted vegan butter and some olive oil. And then once that's melted, we're adding in the flour. And the key to having a good bechamel is just making sure you keep continuously mixing really well and keep stirring. Make sure you stir all that flour in, no lumps remain, because that's going to mean that you have a lumpy sauce, and we don't want a lumpy sauce. So make sure you incorporate that flour really well. Cook it down so it doesn't have the taste of flour anymore. It's looking all nice and velvety now, which is when it's time to start adding in your milk bit by bit. What you're going to want to do is add a splash of milk, stir it into the mixture, make sure it's all absorbed, and notice how the first splash of milk is going to look like it's milky, but then turn into a paste because it's binding to the flour and it's starting to bind the sauce together. And you just want to keep stirring until it's all incorporated, and then you can move on to the next splash of milk. That's it. We have a lovely creamy sauce. We're adding in the nutmeg and additional salt and pepper to taste. And that's the bechamel. Okay, now that we have our tomato sauce ready and we have our bechamel, it is time to assemble and to put it in the oven and then to enjoy. Now here comes the easiest part of making a lasagna. You're going to start with an oven tray or a baking dish, a bit of oil. The first layer is going to be a layer of the tomato sauce, then the lasagna sheets, and then the bechamel to top the lasagna sheets. And then you're going to continue with another layer of the ragu and another layer of pasta and another layer of bechamel. And you're going to keep doing that until you run out of sauce. We have now put the lasagna in the oven for about 45 minutes, and this is the end result. Beautiful layers. It's really good if you serve it with a small side salad, maybe with like a balsamic vinaigrette, and you can serve this to anyone, vegan or not. They will surely enjoy this lasagna. Okay, my little ducklings, that was it. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Yeah, there you have your lasagna. Let's try some. Every single time it will hit just the right spots. You don't have to be vegan to enjoy this, to make this. Just go and make it. That's all I can say. I'll see you next week. It's just really good. What can I say? Okay.